afternoon. Welcome to JoyNews today. We're coming to you live from our studios in Kokomlemle. We're on DTT because we're free to air on DSTV channel 421 and Go TV channel 125. JoyNews is your home of independent, fearless and credible journalism. Coming up this afternoon, Vice President begins tour of flooded communities in the Volta region as residents of Sokwe say they are forced to depend on polluted flood water inundating the community from the spillage of the Akosombo Dam, whilst Ghana Water Company cuts water supply to them. We'll bring you live updates from there. Meanwhile, Pharmaceutical Society of Ghana calls for the conversion of COVID-19 relief fund into a national emergency fund to help provide more relief for the flood victims. Plus this afternoon, fresh calls to dissolve the National Cathedral Board of Trustees after 2 more members resigned, citing failure to conduct an audit into matters regarding the construction of the project. We have details as Duncan Williams and Reverend Eastwood Anaba reveal their attempts to meet the president failed. We have business, sports, world news and showbiz coming up in this bulletin. We're also live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram and X on JoyNews on TV. My personal handle is @Denana Aisha. Please stay for details. Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia has arrived in Sogakope as part of his tour of communities flooded as a result of the spillage of the Akosombo Dam. We'll be crossing over to him shortly on his visit, but first, residents of Sokwe, one of the hardest hit communities by the floods resulting from the Akosombo Dam spillage, say they are still relying on the heavily polluted lake water for domestic use. Assemblyman for Sokwe electoral area Edmund Fingaro Dika spoke to JoyNews' Carlos Kaloni on the situation.
Your community people, are they still relying? What water are they using?
Well, I'm Honorable Edmund Fingaro Dika, the assembly member for Sokwe electoral area. Within my community right now, it's about 2 weeks plus. The water has never flowed from the pipe. So everybody is now depending on the polluted water. But it was through the grace yesterday, it rained small, people were able to harvest some small water. NDC women organizer for the Volta region constituency youth brings standard pure water and other benevolence, and then the MP, Honorable Mensa Oyuma, was able to donate water, sachet water for us, and that is what we are distributing today. As I speak, it's now that we are hearing of NADMO in our electoral area, and they are just coming. You can see them behind me, and that is what is going on. We don't know what they are coming to tell us now, but I just want to assure that 90% of the people in Sokwe right now are depending on this water, which is not good for our health.
If you say they are depending on it, what are they using this water for?
That is what they use for cooking, bathing. We don't have any source of water. We don't have any source. This is the only source of water we have.
Are residents even aware the water is polluted?
They are aware. They are aware and they know, but they don't have any choice. That is the only thing you can do. People are just trying hard not to drink it.
Do you people in Sokwe, do you feel neglected in this flood situation?
That is how we are seeing ourselves. We are totally neglected. We were informed that the president was coming to us. We prepared waiting for him for more than 6 hours just to be called back and told us that he cannot come to us or he's going to Mepe. So we thought maybe Mepe people are more important than us. That is what we will also take it, because right now we are all dying.
Great mother of Sokwe traditional area Mamagan Ajesu II also expressed concern over the water situation.
Do whatever they are supposed to use it for. And here lies the case, as we are talking now, the water is highly polluted. They have to come to our aid. We went for a meeting on Sunday, and then the MP suggested we use the Agohome. dam, that one they will be able to sterilize it. He mentioned some chemicals that is supposed to be bought by the VRA so that they will be able to be opening the tap like intermediately. But as I'm speaking now, the tap is still not flowing, and for weeks now, we don't have flowing water. We need to drink, we need to bath, we need to wash, we need to cook. What are we going to use for all those kind of activities? It is a hindrance to us. So what we are saying is we would want anybody that can help to come to our aid so that the water problem will be solved. If at least the water problem is solved, then we will say that at least half of the problem is solved. If not for accommodation, but water. If somebody can get a place to lay his head and get water to drink, the person is comfortable.
South Tong DCE the DC of the area, however, denies the claims of residents.
Hi.
How do you react to these concerns being expressed by residents of Sope that for 2 weeks they've had to depend on the polluted water lake?
This is a surprise to everybody. You're not prepared before this happened. So we started organizing ourselves till the VRA. We formed the VRA in Admo. They've come to our aid. So today we are starting giving the water. Already, we've Togbega, Kajisoga. This is the Paramati was Sope. They have given us about 500 water from some of the companies. So they are start sharing it. Now that the VRA and the NANBO booking, so we'll start sharing today. And not that we deliberately deny them of giving water. Yes, we are sorry about that.
Meanwhile, the Pharmaceutical Society of Ghana has called for the conversion of the COVID-19 Relief Fund into a national emergency fund to help provide more relief for the flood victims.
We are saying that COVID-19 is with us, but it's no longer an emergency. But we have an emergency now at hand. And we think that we should think beyond COVID-19 and look at all disasters. And so it's time that we convert that fund at hand to be a national emergency relief and public health emergency fund, so that we can look forward and be prepared ahead of time. We don't have to wait for something to happen and we start running around.
Still on the spillage of the dam, the dreams of young learners are in limbo. Frustration and despair growing among students who long to return to their classrooms. Many school children have been out of class for weeks due to the flooding. They fear the situation could negatively impact their academic progress. Some of them spoke with JoyNews. We can speak live with Ivy Setoji, who's been speaking with some of these students. Ivy, how many children have you been engaging, and what have they been telling you?
Hello?
Ivy, how many children have you spoken with, and what have they been telling you?
I spoke with about 10 children. Some of them were not ready to speak on camera, but few of them who were able to speak said they really want to go back to school. They want the government to come to their aid, maybe make a temporary accommodation for them somewhere so that they can continue with their education. A lady, a 15-year-old girl, said she is in her final year, that's the basic 3, and she needs to go back to school and prepare for BEC. So these are some of the concerns raised by the school children.
We can now go to Ivy Setoji, Carlos Coloni. That was Ivy Setoji bringing us those updates from that place. Ivy, if you're still there, I understand that the Sky Group is making some donations. Tell me more about it.
Yes, so the first Sky Group, the owners of the Volta Serene, the Serene Insurance, and the First Sky Construction are donating some relief items worth 600,000 Ghana cedi this afternoon to the 3-Tone district and some of the places in Kesa. So they have started arriving, and so in an hour getting ready to donate these relief items to the affected residents.
That was Ivy Setoji. We can now go live to Carlos Coloni, who is in Sogakope for the latest. Carlos, I understand the Vice President has started a tour of affected areas. What has he been saying? Carlos, I understand the Vice President has started his tour of the area. First, confirm this for me.
Yes, indeed, the Vice President said I'm few at the Sogakope Stadium with some engaging from the, and they have just arrived here at Baka. Baka is one of the communities that is also going through the flooding situation. And as I speak, the Vice President is exchanging pleasantries with the chiefs and people of Baka. And I'm told he will be making a short statement soon. And from here, the Vice President will be heading to Sokpe to also make some donation and tour the affected areas. So that's the update from the South Song district so far.
Right. So far, how are the people receiving the Vice President?
Indeed, they are so happy to see the Vice President come around, especially school children. Actually express a lot of joy. But for the elderly, they appear to be not too happy. I spoke with one elderly woman who expressed the concern of delays, that this issue has happened for days. They expected the authorities to, take the issue serious and come to their aid, but they are now coming. And so that's a bit of a concern to many of the residents here. And even as I speak, the Vice President is interacting with the chiefs. I can still see others in their homes, in doing their own thing, outsourcing and all that. It appears to me that they are not so much enthused with the end of the coming of the Vice President. So that's the feeling you get from the residents of Baka.
Carlos Coloni is monitoring events for us. Definitely there is more we'll be bringing your way in our subsequent bulletins. Now, the Christian Council of Ghana says it is committed to making sure that our Akosombo Dam Spillage flood victims get the needed physical and spiritual support. Chairman of the council, Reverend Dr. Delahela Dogbe, gave the assurance when he led some members of the council to donate relief items to affected persons in Mepe in the Northern District.
We all know that about a week ago, we woke up to the sad news of the spillage and the consequences that has affected these whole communities. Watching it on TV and listening to the radio and getting feedback from people was a bit heartbreaking. So as a Christian Council of Ghana, we know that we have a responsibility to look out for the well-being of our people, even as we act as advocates on their behalf. So whilst we are doing the advocacy work and also praying and interceding to God on their behalf, we decided to mobilize among ourselves to bring some provisions of food and some food items and some truckloads of water to come and commiserate with the community and to lend our support to them. That's the primary reason why we are here. We thank God for the opportunity to be here and to see at first hand the effects of the spillage. We are trusting that the whole wide world will come to the aid of the people, that we will all see this as a serious case of emergency that needs an emergency response, because emergency situations require an emergency response. And I'm grateful that, in a previous conversation with the President, he's assured us of his commitment to make sure that the interministerial committee also does what they're supposed to do quickly, even as he also mobilizes to come out to support this community.
MP for the area, Okudzeto Ablakwa, and MCE also thanked the team for the gesture. They are ever called on the President to declare the current situation as a state of emergency to trigger foreign attention.
I'd like to use this opportunity to offer sincere gratitude to the Christian Council of Ghana. We are very, very grateful to them. Their response has been so rapid. They called us, and under 24 hours they are here. They have demonstrated that as our revered clergymen, they are not only interested in our souls going to heaven, but they are also interested in our welfare and our well-being whilst we are here on earth, how we put body and soul together. And it is in time of distress, it is in time of need that you really see those Christ-like values. And we want to commend them highly. We are extremely grateful to them. What they have done is clearly going to pave the way for many more churches and other denominations who belong to the body of Christ to come in and assist us. And as a Christian, I'm so happy that it is our leaders of the Christian faith who are setting the tone.
Christian Council for coming to our aid. We are very grateful for what they have done so far, and we are praying that they will still come and do more, because those who are affected are over 12,000 people, and we need all the help that we can to feed the people. As we speak, the flood has taken over all our farms, and we don't have any food to feed our people, and it's something that we are afraid of. In the coming few weeks, we don't know what will happen, so we are praying that the good people of Ghana will come to our aid and come and support us. They should support us in prayers and in kind.
Thousands of buildings close to the Densu River, which feeds the Weija Dam, have been earmarked for demolition by the Ghana Water Company Limited. The notice on structures at Gunze in the Weija municipality states those structures will be demolished by the Ghana Water Company Limited. Residents say the thought of losing their properties in this time of harsh economic conditions has brought great distress to them. The Weija Dam provides potable drinking water to thousands of homes in the capital and sources within the Ghana Water Company Limited, and they say the demolition is to protect it from encroachment. Maxwell Agbagba has more.
Voice of Nana Ofori lamenting about the demolition notice on their one-story building. She says her husband has been crying ever since the structure was earmarked for demolition. She says he invested all his savings into the construction of the property, and the thought of losing it is giving him sleepless nights.
Soldier for ne down hono na me she inside me be you top no frame me say my bro bla ne be soldier for na be tro hono. In fact me pay by me.
I was in the house when my daughter saw the soldiers writing the demolition notice on the buildings. I called my husband. He was very worried.
Me say mira ni abanie soldier for be tro down ho. Was you wan kasa biemu. He
has been crying since we were informed about the planned demolition. We can't even eat at home because we've invested everything in this building. What's the cost of bag cement now? Iron rods and even paying the masons.
Another resident, Mavis Boateng, also lives in a one-story building in the community. She says her structure is not close to the Densu River. She is surprised her building will be affected by the demolition.
Invest a lot in it, and if they are coming to destroy it, I don't know. We haven't slept for almost ever since they wrote the destiny on our we haven't slept seriously. It's not easy. We are so worried. Yeah. So we are praying that you do something about it. Look at where the river is and look at where the building is. Begging the government to do something about it because we don't know where we will take our family to.
Seme Philip Adam also lives in the community. He says the harsh economic conditions in the country has already taken a toll on residents. He cannot imagine how residents are to cope when their buildings are demolished by the Ghana Water Company.
Some of us have acquired loan to build such a house. Others who took their pension pay. So if such things would happen without our notice, they did not notify us or give us any prior notice that such exercises are going to be done. We were just there around 9 o'clock a.m. on Monday when they came with their military men to come and write on our buildings. And in fact, since then, no explanation has been given. But our leaders have reached out to the MC and the Honorable Assembly, how do we call it? The MP for Wijagbawe, which is Honorable Tina. And they've also come in to see to it. But as we speak now, we are having sleepless nights. We are in difficult times. Right? Having such buildings and then all of a sudden it goes down, no compensation, nothing has been said to us. We don't know when the demolition is starting, how we are going to prepare towards it, nothing. So in fact, we are very much frightened.
The Ghana Water Company Limited has refused to comment on the issue for now. Our sources within the company says the management will release a statement on the matter soon. The source added that the company is concerned about the encroachment of its lands and human activities very close to the Dense River.
There are fresh calls for President Akufo-Addo to immediately dissolve the National Cathedral Board of Trustees and order a wider forensic audit into the botched construction. These calls are followed the resignation of founder of the Action Chapel, Archbishop Nicholas Duncan Williams, and President of Eastwood Anaba Ministries, Reverend Eastwood Anaba, from the National Cathedral Board of Trustees. They cited failure on the part of the Cathedral's board to appoint an independent accounting firm to audit all public funds contributed to the National Cathedral project. My colleague Kwekwa Asante has been sharing some of the details.
Archbishop Nicholas Duncan Williams and Reverend Eastwood Anaba points to two things. First, these two men of God say that they tried several attempts to meet the president and to share their concerns, but they could not do so. And let me read specifically what the letter says. It says that you may recall a request for an appointment with you to specifically discuss the National Cathedral of Ghana, a vision of yours that we share and cherish. We truly understand that the demands of the nation and indeed the world have been placed upon your shoulders may have prevented the realization of this meeting. So this meeting that was requested by these two men of God to discuss their concerns with the president did not come up. And because of this, they put together this letter resigning, and they have specific concerns. They say that they had requested for an audit into some funds that have been paid into the National Cathedral Fund, and a number of issues that have happened around the cathedral. We know that some of the Okudzeto Ablakwa in particular had been leading a crusade and had been making claims that there were some irregularities around the construction, and he thought that that forensic audit would be necessary. These two men of God joined the cause and made a similar demand. They say that to the best of their knowledge, they have not seen the findings of the audit. They cannot also confirm if that audit has taken place, and they've been waiting for this report since January of this year, and 10 months down the line, they've not gotten this. And because of this, they have decided that it is better for them to step aside from their roles on the National Cathedral Trustees Board. Not that they do not believe in the vision of the president to erect this National Cathedral, but they believe that a number of these issues have made their continual stay on the board untenable. The founder of Lighthouse Chapel, Lighthouse Churches, Reverend Bishop Darky Ward-Mills, also resigned. So these two men of God have joined Pastor Mensa Otabel and Darky Ward-Mills, who had already resigned from the board, bringing to the total four members who have resigned. But still, there are still a number of men of God and other people of means who are still on this board. Apostle Professor Popo Nina, who is former chairman of the Church of Pentecost, is still on the board. Archbishop Charles Baka is still on. Most Reverend Bishop Justice Ofea Kofi is still on. Right Reverend Professor Emmanuel Mate, the former moderator of the Presbyterian Church, is still on. We also have one other, Most Reverend T.K. Awashi Pratt, who is still on. Reverend Dr. Joyce Ayi, Executive Director of the Salt and Light Ministry, is still on. And then Reverend Victor Kusiboate, the founder of the Power Chapel Worldwide, is still a member. Reverend Dr. Frimpong Manso, a former general superintendent of the Assemblies of God, is still on. And then finally, Kingsley Ofosu in Tiamoa, of the Ghana Museums and Monuments Board, are still. These are the persons who are still on the National Cathedral Board of Trustees. No work has been done on the side of the National Cathedral because the state has run out of money. The Cathedral Secretariat have also run out of money. The expectations that a number of donations will come in have not come in since that started. And because of that, construction has halted. In fact, a few months ago, we saw a notice from the contractors who are undertaking this construction, instructing that the employees are relieved of their duties with the exception of a few security men who are still on site to protect the facility. The minority are demanding a forensic audit. In fact, before Parliament went on break, they actually approved a resolution to investigate the National Cathedral Board. It was just a committee that was not set up. It is expectation that when Parliament resumes, that committee will be put in place to investigate the construction of that National Cathedral. We've also heard from Adam Senano, who says that if you look at the very prominent men of God who are on this Board of Trustees, it makes it a bit difficult for the president to dissolve it, because if you dissolve it, then going forward, how do you get to work with them? And so he says that the president would have to navigate this quite carefully, but he insists, like many people, that because of the controversy the National Cathedral has been embroiled in since it was announced and since construction began, it is clear that there is some deeper introspection that must be done, and the funding model must be relooked at so that if it's a Christian community and other 1 million Ghanaians who want to support the project, they can do.
Let's now do some education. Headmaster of the Wenchi Methodist Senior High School, Very Reverend Chumesi Ampofo, has admonished stakeholders in the education sector to help institute measures that would improve the performance of the school, particularly in the National Science and Maths quiz. The headmaster, who was delivering an address to mark the 60th anniversary of the school, also called on government to complete abandoned school buildings to solve the school's infrastructure challenges. Anna Sabit has more.
Established in the year 1963, the Wenchi Methodist Senior High School currently has a student population of 2,235 with a total of 200 teaching and non-teaching staff. Headmaster of the school, Very Reverend Chumesi Ampofo, who was delivering an address to climax the 60th anniversary of the school, bemoaned some difficulties bedeviling the smooth running of the school. He was quick to note that the school is instituting structures capable of improving its performance generally, and asked that more needs to be done to improve the performance of the school, particularly in the National Science and Maths quiz.
Science and Maths quiz. Mr. Chairman, this is one area that all stakeholders wish to share something positive about our performance. This is our dream as management, staff and students. We are doing all we can to achieve this dream. We are surely not there yet, but we are on course. In this very year, our school team was denied qualification to the national level by Sused, who beat us to the second position by 4 points.
He, however, admonished stakeholders within the school, including all students, to support the school as it works towards building a more resilient science and maths team.
I wish, however, to say that success in the quiz requires more than normal classroom work. It requires more than average science students. It requires dedicated and well-motivated teachers and students ready to go the extra mile. It requires additional science equipment and facilities to get to this point. The schools that are making it big in this context see it as a project, and I therefore call on all parents, ASMAPO, and all stakeholders to come and support us in this regard.
Speaking on behalf of the Minister of Education, Deputy Education Minister in charge of Technical, Vocational Education and Training, Gifty Chum Ampofo, promised management of the School of Government's resolve towards improving secondary education across the country, and asked that the school's abandoned, uncompleted projects will be addressed to help solve the school's infrastructural challenge.
Concerns about projects ongoing, and I was glad when he said at least have a dining hall on the boys' dormitory is ongoing, and he wished that you're going to have some furniture. I'm glad to respond that under the quality education with free SHS, whenever a dormitory is built, the dormitory is furnished with beds, not just beds, but beds with mattresses. So when the project is completed, beds with mattresses will be supplied to the facility. Likewise, the dining hall. That is what we're trying to do slowly.
On his part, First Deputy Speaker of Parliament, who is also an old student of the school, Joseph Osewusu, admonished pupils of the school to believe in themselves and work towards achieving academic excellence irrespective of their location.
We are happy that this school is 60 years. We are also showcasing what 60 years of schooling has produced. Students, former students are here, where we have gotten to in our respective careers, and also to give hope to young people here that it doesn't matter where you are, you can make the best of your situation and achieve what your life purpose is.
The 60th anniversary of the Wenchi Methodist Senior High School was held under the theme, Building on 60 Years of Quality Education, the Role of Stakeholders. Anna Sabet, JoyNews, Wenchi.
Speaker of Parliament Alban Bagbin has commended the Zakaria family for the construction of the newly built Aisha Hospital in Tamale. He said the heavy investment by the family to provide health care for the people of the area, Ghana and beyond, is a mark of patriotism which must be emulated by all. He was speaking at the opening of the hospital in Tamale.
The 92-bed capacity hospital, equipped with the state-of-the-art equipment, modern standard walls, fitted with air conditioning, is expected to augment healthcare delivery in the northern region, Ghana and beyond. Speaking at the commissioning, the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin, who is the life president of the hospital, called on all to commit themselves to the investment in healthcare of the people.
I got into this whole business when I decided to organize a forum in Tamale here, in fact for the whole northern sector. But the fulcrum was to be in Tamale here, and therefore I did request my team to, as usual, get me a place at the Maria Hotel, where sometimes I come to rest a bit, and it was fully booked. I had no space at all to go to my home, and I was told that they found a good place at a facility called Aisha Homes. That's Aisha. Aisha, the Chinese woman. Why do you want to cause trouble for me? I won't go to. They said, no, it's not for any Chinese woman. It's for one of our sisters. They have put it up. I said, wow, I haven't been there before. How is the place? And then they gave me some very nice description of it. And I said, confirm, I'll be there. And when I came, I met this beautiful young girl who says she was the director of the facility, but she's consulting at the teaching hospital, the Tamale Teaching Hospital. I had to ask her a few questions, and then she gave me all the brains behind and the efforts that have been made to put this facility together. I had no alternative than to commit myself to make sure that we succeed this time around to make a difference in the health delivery system of this country. The Aisha Hospital, I'm told, is initiated and constructed by the Zakaria family, led by one of them, Dr. Doliwura Zakaria, who is the chairman of the Aisha group. I managed to get in touch with him, and he gave me a very telling story of how this thing came about. There are a few things I want to share with you, because the initiators, the board, all of us involved have just been given the title Life Patron of the hospital. We will not succeed without your contribution and support of our efforts. So it's important we listen to each other.
A stalwart of the National Democratic Congress, Professor Joshua Alabi, who represented the former president and presidential candidate of the NDC, John Dramani Mahama, said the hospital will serve as a beacon of hope for clients who visit the place.
Naturally, as I said, we have a lot of challenges in the health delivery system, not only in the Tamale metropolis, but the country as a whole. That is why we have to appreciate and celebrate people who invest in this sector, and more so in this part of the country. Naturally, I'm happy to participate.
We're still live on JoyNews today. We'll take a break. When we return, there will be more from business. Welcome to the business segment on JoyNews today. My name is Emma Davis. Wife of the Vice President, Samira Bawumia, is urging more collaboration between the Energy Commission and the Ministry of Food and Agriculture to leverage the usage of renewable energy sources to improve agriculture. According to her, the time has come for the country to move away from the traditional way of producing food. She was speaking at the grand finale of the Renewable Energy Challenge by the Energy Commission, won by Sugakope Senior High School.
The fourth edition of the Energy Commission Senior High School's Renewable Energy Challenge is one of the flagship programs of the Commission to provide education and awareness on renewable energy resources and technologies to students. Speaking as the guest of honor at the program themed Mechanized Small-Scale Agriculture using Renewable Energy Technologies, Mrs. Bawumia stressed the need for the use of renewables in farming practices.
It will be an excellent opportunity to bridge the gap between the ideas presented here and the real-world application for the benefit of our farmers and the nation. We must seize the opportunity to use renewable energy technologies to transform the way we cultivate, harvest, and process our agricultural products, making these processes more sustainable, efficient, and eco-friendly.
Deputy Minister for Energy Andrew Ejapamesa praised the Energy Commission for its efforts in ensuring the promotion of renewable energy in the country.
With agriculture being a key component of our nation's economy, the need to maximize efficiencies in this important sector cannot be overemphasized. It is trite that one of the challenges faced in the agricultural sector, which has often affected productivity, is the reliance on manual farming processes and methods. The focus on innovations that will address this challenge is therefore timely and very much welcomed.
Executive Secretary of the Energy Commission, Oscar Amonu Neiza, hinted on an ongoing process to commercialize the innovations of various winners of the challenge.
Now, ensuring the long-term sustainability of the challenge necessitates the continued development and commercialization of the students' projects. With this in mind, the Commission has established a Memorandum of Understanding with the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, CSIR. This partnership offers an opportunity for students, teachers, and schools to reap financial benefits from their projects. This collaboration between the Commission and CSIR underscores our commitment to nurturing innovation and propelling these remarkable projects towards real-world implementation.
Sugakope Senior High School emerged winners, followed by Yas Antua Girls High School out of the 6 finalist schools.
The national president of the Borderless Alliance, Ghana, Zaid Hamwi, has urged African countries to employ proper conflict resolution processes to deal with cross-border trade disputes. He has been speaking at the launch of Borderless 2023, a conference designed to discuss the strengthening of agric value chains in West Africa.
Borderless Alliance's annual regional conference, Borderless 2023, will see stakeholders in the agriculture and supply chain sector converge to deliberate on the ease of trade in West Africa. This year's conference, which will focus on agricultural value chain and seek to promote regional integration as well as reduce trade barriers, will be hosted by the Ghana Shippers Authority. Speaking at the launch of the 2-day event scheduled to take place in Tema, Zaid Hamui, National President of Borderless Alliance Ghana, called for the adoption of a proper dispute settlement system to address intra-regional trade conflicts.
One of the main concerns within ECOWAS was the lack of a dispute resolution body that allows complaints to move through between parties that have challenges in moving their goods or their people across the region and incur losses because of that. Instead, these used to be settled as a gentleman's agreement between various states. Of course, there's the ECOWAS court, but you will notice something very common, not just across ECOWAS, but across Africa. African countries don't like to take each other to court. It's a common, well, we can call it a common trait. I don't want to call it a common symptom.
He further called for the development of a robust agric value chain to avert future food crisis.
It is actually a firm belief that the only way to protect itself and become more resilient is by building its regional supply chains. And to build regional supply chains, you need to focus on 3 things. The first one is to produce more, whether agriculture or non-agriculture products. The second is to identify markets across Africa in this case. And then the third one is logistics-based, which is to move the goods from where they are to where they are consumed. And these have to happen concurrently.
The head of freight and logistics at the Ghana Shippers Authority, Fred Asiedu-Date, lamented over many checkpoints on the roads.
If you're bringing, say, yams from the north, and these yams are supposed to, get to the port and meet with a vessel that is going, onto a global market. I mean, some buyer somewhere, and there is a checkpoint and there are delays. And you know that these yams are also perishable. So it causes great dislocation. And so to a large extent, we're looking at what happens at these checkpoints. How many checkpoints do we have in the first place? We have gone beyond even identifying the checkpoints and what happens there.
The theme for the event will be strengthening regional agricultural value chains to compete in a global market.
That's all for business on JoyNews today with me, Emma Davis. The program continues.
Let's do sports now on JoyNews today with me, Muftau Nabila Abla. And Black Stars head coach Chris Newton says that the back-to-back defeats suffered by the senior national team is one that would kickstart the team's performance in subsequent games. According to him, sometimes teams need to be given a reality check before they respond in the next assignments.
But we conceded 3 goals in, I think, a 19-20 minute period. And at that stage, the game changes completely. So for a question of getting back into the game and getting goals, it becomes making sure that we don't concede more. All 4 goals we conceded, which, you know, if I'm looking at the difficulties that we've had, generally the difficulties it's been more about scoring goals than it has been about defending. But when you concede 4 goals in a period of time, and I would have to be honest with you, we had a goalkeeper that had to make a couple of good saves. It could have been more at half time. So this is hugely disappointing and not something that I expected. All I wanted was a reaction from the last game. If you're asking me if I feel I'm the right person, yes I do. The result today is something that is hugely disappointing. We have 2 games in November, 2 big games in November, 2 big World Cup games in November, and it's our responsibility and my responsibility as coach to turn these bad defeats and bad performances into better ones and ones where we can win both games.
Chris Hughton there speaking in a post-match press conference. He also insists he's the best man to lead the senior national team, the Black Stars. However, some Ghanaian fans believe that with Chris Hughton, the senior national team has got no future.
Because the way I support it, to come and support young people now. You know what I'm saying? Support the to support our people now. I mean, we don't know what's going on. If this is the team that we have there, then I really don't know, sir. You know, I don't think that we have a future. Give me the answer. Young people for a character. Your future now. Your future there, your way to the
the way part and you said Ghana the Sabbath to America, so they say America. I can't well think almost fairly Ghana man. Oh, wait, yeah.
You will be a year over. It's a poor performance, man. We should check out before we go to the Nations Cup. Believe me, because I don't think our boys are just playing like they're not professionals. See, they jitter on the field. No, I don't get it. They need to prepare well before we go to the Nations Cup.
You know what I meant, man, and I don't get it. Many disappointed Ghanaian fans there after watching the senior national team lose 4-0 to the United States of America in an international friendly. This is our wrap-up sports here on JoyNews today with me, Muftau Nabila Abla. The news continues right after this.
But that's how we also wrap up the bulletin this afternoon. Log on to myjoyonline.com for more of the news and updates of all the developing stories. Enjoy the